Good journey, everyone. Welcome to Space Oats Live, a Star Wars podcast. I am the Crucial Crew member, and it is the first week of August. It's ending the first week of August. It's August 7th. Summer's almost over. Summer's almost over, which is good because, that means the heat is almost over. And yeah, actually, we got through the summer here in Florida, not too bad so far. I know hurricane season isn't quite over yet, but haven't had too much of it. But first things first, before I get started, I'm going to throw up a question here in the in my chat. So if anybody does join, you can. I was gonna put something on Instagram earlier, but I totally didn't. So I don't know how many people are gonna join, but I'm just curious as far as because there is a poll out there right now on StarWars.com. What color is your lightsaber? What's your favorite color? I have multiple lightsabers, so you know, not like I don't have multiple colors, but I think my first one the first one I did was actually not the color that is my favorite color. I'll get to that in a little bit later, but I'm just curious, anybody that does join, what is your lightsaber color? Like, what's your favorite color lightsaber? We'll talk about that later. We will also get into a little bit of Not Long Ago in This Galaxy, our little segment that I do on my Instagram page every day, usually every day, where I post something in Star Wars history. And today, not too much going on in Star Wars. I mean, there's a lot of things published. As always, there's a lot of things always published. Nothing outstanding that I really wanted to talk about. But one of my favorite movies was released kind of this week, not really like specifically this day, except for, yes, in certain cities in this area. But one of my favorite Star Wars movies, at least always in my top two, was released today in Star Wars history. So we'll talk about that. We will get into a little bit of D23, just a preview of that. Maybe you're going. I'm not. I've never been to D23. I've always wanted to go to D23 one year. I'll get there. But there's a lot of Lucasfilm, obviously, because it is Disney. So you have Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, everything, parks, entertainment, all that good stuff. So we're going to talk about the Lucasfilm side and what to expect at the Lucasfilm booth during the weekend, and maybe some other places that some Star Wars projects or connections might show up in some point in time. So we'll dive into that a little bit. We are going to talk a little bit about what was the other thing I was going to talk about this week? Star Wars Celebration, because there was a little announcement, an extra announcement for Star Wars Celebration, which, now that we've kind of, I don't know, we're getting kind of close already. It's fall, we'll be soon. Hopefully everybody has gotten their plans made. I've got my plans made. But I think I know, maybe I think we're going to do a meet and greet. I've never done a meet and greet with Star Wars, paid for a meet and greet before. I've met people in the connected to Star Wars before, actors and so forth. But I think we're going to do a meet and greet, and I think this is really for my wife's benefit. So, but with one of the announcements that was made this week as well. So that is basically it. We don't really have a lot of news coming out, but there is a lot to talk about with D23 starting this weekend. So it does start Friday and goes through the weekend, those 3 days, and we will get into what is going on at D23 this weekend over there in Anaheim, California. So first things first, though, let's get into Not Long Ago in This Galaxy. Not Long Ago in This Galaxy is a little segment, like I said, I do on my Instagram page, usually each and every day, going live talking about something in Star Wars history, or I do a post with something that happened in Star Wars history as well. I just want to get this up real quick because want to make sure I get all the cities straight. Like I said, this one I really wasn't. I didn't have. I mean, I know that there was a release date, but I didn't realize that it didn't really premiere this day in this area, except for in one city. So if you backtrack a couple days in this continent, in this country, you could have seen it a little bit earlier in the week. in history. So not long in this galaxy takes us back to 1980, um, August the 7th, 1980. So I think you already kind of know what that is all about, right? Because that was the year The Empire Strikes Back was released here in um, pretty much almost anywhere, except for maybe a few countries around the world. But The Empire Strikes Back opened for the first time in Australia this week, and I say this week because today it opened in Sydney and Melbourne, which Sydney, is the capital. So I guess you could call this like the major premiere of the country, but if you were a little bit north in Brisbane, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the Australian cities correctly. I've never been to Australia. I've always wanted to go. If you were in the city of Brisbane, which is about a 9-hour drive north of Sydney. So, like, it would have been a day trip if you were really a hardcore Star Wars fan and you really wanted to see it before anybody else. August the 2nd, so almost a week ahead of time, Empire Strikes Back was released in Brisbane. And then, like I said, Sydney and Melbourne had their release date on August the 7th. And then the other major cities in Australia, Adelaide and Perth, were later in the year. So I think those cities are mainly on the other side of the country. But Empire Strikes Back finally getting to Australia in the summer, which is kind of their winter. It is reversed down there in the southern hemisphere. I've never been to a southern hemisphere country other than in Africa, which kind of yeah, it's cooler, but it's Africa, and it really wasn't that cool. But it was nice weather. It was dry down there where we went in Zimbabwe, which we went in August. But it was technically their winter dry month. And which is a great time to go if you're going to go, by the way. If you're going to make that trek and do that sort of thing, it is less diseases from mosquitoes and bugs and things like that, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So but kind of getting off topic there, but would love to go to Australia at some point, because yeah, that's a great way to get out of here in the heat, right? And then go to Australia. Maybe they'll do a Star Wars celebration in Australia. That would be cool. And then we can go to Australia. Again, traveling the world through Star Wars is so much fun. But yes, so The Empire Strikes Back released this week in Australia. That is You're Not Long Ago in This Galaxy. And I totally forgot to, screen share one of my favorite posters of all time. Do I even? I don't have it up. I don't have it up right now, actually. But yeah, one of my favorite posters of all time. It's not really from Australia, but I just love this. I love this poster. So I mean, who doesn't love this poster? This poster is probably one of the greatest posters. I mean, this is just so great. I have a poster of this one, but basically this is was the movie poster for The Empire Strikes Back. One of the original release posters. So great. Love this poster. It is fantastic. I should do it like a side by side, maybe. Yeah, there we go. A little bit bigger. You can see me a little bit more. But yeah, who doesn't love this poster for The Empire Strikes Back? I think actually my poster is a puzzle that I did, and then I kind of made it into a poster, and it's somewhere around here. But I can't put all my posters up at the same time, so that's just the way it goes. But I can't believe it's not up. I have my Return of the Jedi posters up, but not my Empire puzzle poster. But yeah, that is a fantastic poster. I like the kind of like the doll. It's not very colorful, but it's a great poster none the less. But yeah, The Empire Strikes Back, one of my favorite Star Wars movies. It always goes back and forth with 1 and 2 for me, and it is a fantastic film. One of the greatest films. Greatest, man, just amazing. I love Empire Strikes Back. By the way, drinking out of my fiery Mustafar glass from the Halcyon tonight. A little bit of a margarita, but I was in a margarita mood. So The Empire Strikes Back again, Australia to this week, 1980. Fantastic. let's move on. Let's move on, right? Let's go to something else. Let's look at what D23 has got for us this week. So there's a lot going on at D23. Again, I've never been to D23. Never been to D23. I don't know if anybody that follows me that watches my Space Oats podcast has been to D23. I hear it's a lot of fun. It is apparently it's the ultimate Disney fan event, and I'm an ultimate Disney fan. So I would love to go to D23 at some point. And it is something that even my wife would love to go to, and I think that's on our bucket list to do a D23 event. I think if we do a D23 event, it'll be a year that either Star Wars Celebration is not, or if it's like local and we don't really have to travel, we'll probably go back to Disneyland, maybe do a D23 event in connection with that. So that is definitely on our future destination and fun. And it already seems like Dragon, even though we haven't even gone to Dragon Con yet, my wife is already wanting to go back to Dragon Con. But I kind of want like to maybe experience other conventions. Like I don't know if she'd ever be willing to go to New York Comic Con with me because it is busy and it's in New York City. But I definitely would want to go. But I can see her possibly going to San Diego Comic Con with me. So maybe that'll be in the future. And, if we can ever get to San Diego Comic Con, that would be something that would be probably pretty difficult to get tickets for. So I've been told. But anyway, D23 is happening this weekend. It is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's a 3-day event. It is, like I said, it's the ultimate Disney fan event. It's everything Disney. It's Lucasfilm. It's Marvel. It's Disney Entertainment. It's Pixar. We get, I mean, obviously, I guess Fox is going to be, considered there now. And yeah, with entertainment, parks, resorts, all around the world. I have a feeling that this is going to be a very big, big, big announcement year for Disney. And I think it's not going to be something that like last year where it was kind of just, you know, yes, we got all these ideas, but don't really know when things are going to happen. But just maybe like things are being thrown out there idea wise. I think this time we're going to get some solid uh, announcements for parks, resorts, go ahead dates, when things are going to be open by, um, certain movies, timelines, all of this I think is going to be announced. Um, let's run down kind of what's going to be at the Lucasfilm booth and maybe some other things tied to Star Wars, and then kind of talk my like predictions of maybe some things that nothing's been hinted at as of yet, but maybe we'll hear about at some point and when this might happen. So the Lucasfilm booth is going to showcase the magic of ILM stagecraft, and stagecraft is kind of like if you're familiar with the volume, which is that immersive um, entertainment set where basically you can get the whole picture of around you of the scene of where you are like on a planet or a destination within the Star Wars worlds. So this is that technology that's used to bring that to life. It was used in The Mandalorian first. That's where we first saw it. Then again in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka. So this is the way where basically didn't really have to go on scene, on set, out and find a destination. It cost a lot less, but it's an easier way of filming an environment like that. And all you have to do is kind of set dress the middle of it, and put props and things inside or green screen boxes, things like that, and get this thing done. So there's going to be a lot of that technology talked about. So very interesting as far as if you're into that, which I am. I would love to, go and see this, which is really cool because they actually are going to kind of have it there, and you're going to be able to put yourself into certain environments and take photo shoots, which is pretty amazing. So that is going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Lucasfilm booth. They're going to have a couple different things each day, but then some of the same things every day as well. So um, at um, at 10 o'clock a.m. Every day. ILM Stagecraft, a Galaxy of Innovation, is at the Lucasfilm booth. This is where you're basically, in the morning, first thing, every day you can go, you can learn about the ILM Stagecraft through a firsthand experience at the volume. So basically, like I said, they're going to have the volume there. You're going to be able to, go inside and put yourself in an environment which I mean, kind of looking at it right here, this would be something that would be similar to what you can experience, and get a photo op. I'm guessing you can get a photo op. I don't know if you have to pay for it or what, but wouldn't it be cool to have a photo of you in a Star Wars environment like that? I mean, it looks so real. It looks actually like you're there, and I would love to have something like that. I don't know what environment I would love to be in, but there's so many of them that are so cool, and whatever they would be offering, it would be amazing. But I think I would go with the Tatooine, actually. I don't know if I'd, you know, it looks so great, and I just can't think of anywhere else that I'd want it, because it's so iconic. It's the beginnings of Star Wars, Tatooine, and I would love to have a photo of myself standing on the sands of Tatooine, which would be really amazing. But yeah, you can do that 10 o'clock every day. I don't know if they're going to change the environments every day, or if you'll have the opportunity to pick your environment and they can load it up. I guess we'll kind of find that out as people go. But that is, again, 10 o'clock every day at the Lucasfilm booth, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At 2 p.m. on Friday, I believe, or I think this was on Friday only. No, or this could have been every day. No, I think this was every day as well. Yeah, 2 p.m. every day, in the Lucasfilm booth. Creatures and Droids, with legacy effects. This is the creative studio that brought the Mandalorians Grogu and Ahsoka's Merly, the Loth Cat, to life. Talk about the craft of making lifelike aliens, creatures, and droids. So I believe that's every day at 2 o'clock as well. So that's really cool to be able to learn about those. I'm sure they'll have them on hand. I'm sure they'll have the Grogu puppet. I'm sure they'll have the Loth Cat puppet, which is pretty cool. Would be pretty cool to be able to see the Loth Cat puppet live, or on screen. Again, that was, I don't know. I think that was partially animatronic in some scenes, and then other scenes it was CG. But man, I got bit today by mosquitoes, and they are killing me. By the way, so that is at 2 o'clock every day at the Lucas, or yeah, 2 o'clock every day at the Lucasfilm booth as well. I think I'm doing this right. I hope I'm doing this right. Yes, that is 2 o'clock every day. On Friday and Sunday, not Saturday, Friday and Sunday at 4 o'clock, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures Nubs meet and greet. Nubs did a meet and greet, I think, in Disneyland not too long ago. And so, again, being on the West Coast has its pluses. Getting some character meet and greets that we do not get here over on the East Coast. I would love to get a meet and greet with Nubs. I think that they could totally do that at Disney World, at Hollywood Studios, over by the launch bay. I think it would fit in very well with the Disney Junior area, and I think it would do spectacular. Honestly, I think all the characters from Young Jedi Adventures would do spectacular for meet and greets over at the Disney Junior area. But who am I to say if it's a good idea or not? So Friday and Sunday at 4 o'clock, younglings and um, younglings at heart, which would be me, could meet and hug Nubs. Who wouldn't want to hug Nubs? The Pooba, star of Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, which, reminder, they're probably going to be talking a lot about the next season. The next season is coming very soon. I don't know when it actually starts. I got to keep looking at that. It starts really soon. It might even be next week. So I'm probably certain that they're going to be able to get to see a couple of the episodes this weekend at some point or at D23 before everyone else. Saturday, Doug Chang is going to do a thing at the booth at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, designing with stagecraft. Doug Chang, amazing Star Wars legend since basically the prequels and beyond. I mean, all of his artistic work and things that he created and designed for the films, amazing. His concept art and what he brought to the screen. So he is Lucasfilm's senior vice president and executive design director now, and he will take us back to the drawing board for an in-depth look at how Star Wars designs are incorporated using the stagecraft technology. And there'll be a visit from Manny Jacinto, who was the stranger in the Acolyte, and he will be looking back at his time there. That'll be Saturday as well at 4 o'clock. That is why the Nubs meet and greet is not there. So if you want to meet Nubs, Friday and Sunday. If you want to meet Manny Jacinto, the stranger, Saturday. I guess Saturday is the dark side day. So you can join Manny Jacinto as he reflected on the first season of the series and reveals new insights on the stranger. I think it's too early to get any idea of what the season 2 will be as of yet. I just don't unless they kind of didn't tell us and already started filming during season 1. Sometimes studios like to do that, but I don't know if that's the case. I never heard of anything like scenes that weren't getting used, but I don't think we're going to get much of, he might have an idea of where it's going, but I don't think he's going to be able to reveal anything at all as far as the second season. Sunday at noon, there's going to be a conversation with Lucasfilm Animation. This will be with Athena Portillo, who is the vice president of animation production, and Vanessa Marshall, the voice of Harrison Dula in Star Wars Rebels. And they will reflect on favorite moments from the nearly 2 decades of Lucasfilm Animation's critically acclaimed storytelling, which is really awesome. Maybe we'll get some possible hints at future projects during that time. I mean, if you think about it, we don't have any animated series that's been announced as of yet. All we got going right now is Young Jedi Adventures. So will we get an announcement this weekend of a future animated series, like a young adult series, such as Rebels, Bad Batch, something, maybe a spin-off of Bad Batch, maybe something, along those lines? Maybe we'll get a different timeline animated series. I would actually really love to see something in the Mandalorian era, or possibly after Rise of Skywalker. Maybe, I don't know. Like I want something different. I love all of the spin-offs of Clone Wars, Bad Batch, all that good stuff. But I want to get out of that time frame. I want to get somewhere else in the era, maybe even going to the Old Republic. We haven't visited that yet. We can go back and do something in the Old Republic. But they haven't even started anything with novels yet. I think High Republic would be good. Or after, in between The Force Awakens and Return of the Jedi would be another great time to revisit. Maybe like immediately after Return of the Jedi. Beginnings of the New Republic forming would be pretty cool. Closer to the core. We got the Mandalorian going like way out there. Maybe we can get some stories closer to Coruscant, closer to the New Republic formation, with the characters that we all grew up with and loved. And, maybe even having some ties to the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka and so forth. Pulling back those characters in and connecting those stories a little bit, making it canon would be great, I think. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some announcements with a new animated project. Um, so that is all at the Lucasfilm booth itself. The Disney Plus Pavilion will have a little bit of Star Wars, of course. There will be a preview of coming attractions with the one that we know we're going to get a preview for because it's been announced is Skeleton Crew. There's going to be a photo opportunity inspired by that new live action series, which again debuts on December 3rd. I'm sure they'll do a trailer release, possibly, but I'm guessing that there will be a trailer released. We got to see a little bit of footage at Star Wars Celebration last year in London. I'm guaranteeing that trailer's got to drop. That trailer's got to drop at D23 this weekend, and maybe there'll be another announcement. Like I said, this could be also where they could do an announcement of another animated series at some point. And or maybe the next project that's going to be released, maybe an announcement, or maybe even a teaser of that as well. Who knows? We haven't really had much release this year, so this is where Lucasfilm can really shine and make some announcements at D23 this year, because there was no Star Wars Celebration. So maybe we'll get some things. I don't think it'll be much, because again, they're going to hold off on some big stuff for next year in Japan, I'm sure. There is going to be something called a Star Wars Darkade, which is a dark side villainous arcade, which sounds really awesome. This is located inside the World of Disney, the product experience. And every day you can test your skills at the first ever Star Wars villains themed arcade for a chance to win prizes while checking out new Star Wars products. So again, I don't know, new Star Wars products. I don't know what we're gonna possibly get released, but excited to maybe some Acolyte stuff, maybe some new Legacy lightsabers, maybe some new announcements of some new coming games for some platforms. Who knows what we might get at the Star Wars Darkade. The Disney Entertainment Showcase. This is in the evening. These are events that happen in the evening at D23, and it's at the Honda Center, and it's only for D23 Ultimate Fan Pass ticket holders. And there is no other reservations or standby queues available for that experience. It's amazing to think that there are so many people that have that Ultimate Pass that they can fill up the Honda Center every night. But there is going to be some possible Star Wars related things released there. The showcase on Friday is where this is the kickoff night. So this is where fans are going to get to enjoy the magic of Disney entertainment. And it'll be a star-studded showcase. I'm sure lots of celebrities will be appearing there, and it will feature exclusive looks at the movies, series, stage shows, everything that we love, and a little bit of a glimpse into what we can look forward to. So again, this might be where the trailers for Skeleton Crew, the first looks at Skeleton Crew, maybe they'll even get to see the first episode of Skeleton Crew, which I would be really jealous if that's the case. Again, Young Jedi Adventures, maybe they'll release an episode or two of that. But you got to remember, this is everything. So it's probably not going to be maybe one thing Star Wars. If it is one thing Star Wars, my guess is it's going to be an exclusive look at Skeleton Crew on Friday night, because that is the next thing that's going to be released. And we've not had anything officially released footage-wise. The only thing that we got to see was a little bit of a glimpse in at Star Wars Celebration. So I think this is where a trailer drop will definitely happen, if anything, at this event on Friday night. Obviously they'll talk about what maybe you got to do during the day, and then you'll get to see that trailer. Obviously, they're going to have some Marvel. They're going to have something big with Marvel. They're going to have something big with Pixar, all that good stuff. But at least one out of every property is going to get a big reveal trailer or something like that released. Marvel, I can't even think of like what the next Marvel thing of where when they might get a first look or a trailer is. I'm kind of behind on the Marvel stuff as far as the announcements, focusing so much on Star Wars. But favorite, some stars are going to be there. They're going to give you a peek behind the curtain at upcoming projects, never before seen footage, surprise announcements. That's another big thing. You never know what's going to happen with surprise announcements. Special guests, musical performances, exclusive new content coming to the big screen, a small screen, and stages worldwide. So yeah, so who knows? We could get a glimpse at maybe some things in production. Maybe Mandalorian and Grogu, maybe the new Daisy Ridley film. Who knows what could get released at that time. And then another thing that's going to have some Star Wars connections is at the closing ceremonies, the Disney Legends Awards ceremony, which is on Sunday. Again, at the Honda Center, only Ultimate Fan Pass ticket holders will be able to be there. The Disney Legends Awards, which has been since 1987, has been honoring many different gifted individuals in the entertainment industry, and most of whom have had significant impact on the Disney legacy. And the three that are connected to Star Wars, which are going to be honored as in the 2024 class of Disney Legends, is John Williams, which I'm sure he's going to. When does he not show up and play music and play and compose? So I'm sure they're going to have a live orchestra there and him composing, which would be fantastic to be able to see. Harrison Ford, which very rarely ever does any live events, is going to be a Disney legend. And I can't believe he's not already, but Frank Oz. Frank Oz, who has contributed so much to amazing connections to Disney. I mean, Muppets is connected to Disney now. Star Wars, directing, voice acting, so much that Frank Oz has done. And what a great trio of individuals that are connected to Star Wars that will be honored with the Disney Legends Award. That will be Sunday, August 11th at 5 p.m. at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. So that is your rundown of things that are scheduled for Lucasfilm and Star Wars. Again, maybe some predictions on some things that could possibly be. Again, almost positive we'll get a trailer for Skeleton Crew. That's just got to happen, right? Maybe a little bit of a glimpse, a teaser of Mandalorian Grogu, or a teaser of the New Jedi Order series. Maybe a further announcement on the other movie, the Dawn of the Forest, James Mangold. Maybe a release date of that, when that's going to go into production, possibly not a release date, maybe a production date, possibly. And then, who knows, Ahsoka season 2, The Acolyte season 2, possibly a trailer for Andor season 2, because that's coming at some point. There's a lot out there. The biggest surprise, though, would be what other animated series is next. What is next on the animated front of Star Wars? And I believe that this is something that I don't know if anybody has any hint of anything about. And I think that that's going to be maybe a surprise announcement of a new animated series. And I really, really don't. I don't know. It's either going to be a spinoff of Bad Batch, or it's going to be something completely different timeline. Which, again, I'm really hoping that if it is a completely different timeline, we go after Return of the Jedi, go somewhere different, tell some stories immediately after Return of the Jedi, or with the characters that we know and love, and we can share those characters with the new generation. Something like that. or we've already kind of gotten a series leading up to The Force Awakens. So I would like to see a series immediately after Return of the Jedi, animated. I think that would be a great way to tell some amazing stories of Luke, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, Lando Calrissian, all those characters, basically establishing this new republic. Because most of those stories are all legends now that we grew up reading with in the 90s. So we need to tell those stories again. We need to tell those stories again in a different way and have some fun with it. Have some fun with it with some animation. Bring back some characters in a different way that we knew and loved. So yeah, so those are some ideas on the parks forefront, because again, Disney's investing a lot in the parks and resorts. Star Wars or Lucasfilm related that we might hear about in the parks is, I think, hands down, they're going to talk about Animal Kingdom and the tropical, I forget what it's called, but it's like tropical countries. So it's basically South America, Central America, South America, which is going to have Indiana Jones incorporated over at Animal Kingdom. Indiana Jones, um, pretty much suspected to take over Dinosaur. I would love to see a little bit more of maybe what the story is going to be for that ride. Um, Maybe they have some animatics, kind of like giving you a ride through of what it's going to be like, with the story, the adventure is going to be, how it's going to be a little bit different from Disneyland. Because I hope it's going to be different from Disneyland. I hope it's not just a same thing, because I think Disney has to go big now on all these projects because of what's going on with Universal. So I'm looking for something with Indiana Jones. Um, Maybe even retheming Restaurantosaurus to something, with Indiana Jones as well. Um, like some sort of cantina, bar, whatever. It could be a full-fledged restaurant for Indiana Jones would be great. I love Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. I would love to see an actual restaurant with flavors from Central South America with an Indiana Jones environment and theme. So that would be really cool if we got announcements on that. Uh, Galaxy's Edge, I really do. I mean, I would love to see something announced for Galaxy's Edge. Maybe even an expansion, another ride, possibly, or maybe a restaurant in Galaxy's Edge. They have the space, they can do it. With the absence of Star Cruiser, I think they can maybe bring in some things to make it a more immersive environment. New missions, uh, in Smuggler's Run, new missions in the land, new bounty hunter missions, all these things to make it more exciting, more immersive, new characters walking around, whatever that might be, uh, would be amazing to be able to see and hear. Maybe just even if it's just concept art right now, of what's to come, that would be awesome. But I really do think that something is going to be pushed and announced for Galaxy's Edge. I just have this feeling, and I hope this gut feeling is good. Um, I don't think anything of what happened. The building for Star Cruiser. I don't think this is too soon still. I don't think we're going to get any announcement on what that's going to become, as of yet. Maybe another year, maybe next D23. Possibly, but even then, I think that might even be too soon. We might get ideas, of thrown out there or maybe even something to come announcement, but not anything tangible next year. But I think it's too soon for that. But what I would love to see and hear is releases of things that we were supposed to get. I would love to finally see that Gaia Vinyl album come out. Um, and just other things, to remember. I don't know if they are allowed to or not, or what the rules are, but I would just love to see Star Cruiser live on in some way or another, the Halcyon live on in some way or another. Um, and I would love to just see that for the fans of Star Cruiser, something else get released, in that way. But yeah, so that is D23. D23 is again happening this weekend in Anaheim, California. Moving on to the other big event that is happening next April, that would be Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025. There has been more celebrity guest announcements this week, which has gotten my wife very excited, and me excited as well. If you remember, when Star Wars Celebration was announced officially, as far as in Japan and the tickets and everything went on sale, we got pretty quickly 4 that were going to be there. And I mean, you almost guaranteed that these 4 were going to be there in somewhere. At least 3 of these 4 were definitely going to be there. Ashley is always at these events. Ashley's fantastic. She loves our fans. She does a lot with Star Wars Celebration. So we all knew Ashley was going to be there. Ashley Eckstein, voice of Ahsoka Tano. A pleasure always to have her at any of the Star Wars events. Doug Chang always showing up at the Star Wars events as well. Big with Disney, big with Star Wars. So obviously he's going to be there. Anthony Daniels, another big part of Star Wars Celebration. I really hope Anthony Daniels does a panel this year. He did not do a panel last year in London. He was on some of the panels, but he did not do a panel, I don't think. If he did, I can't even remember going. I don't think he did. And if he did and I missed it, I'm so upset with myself. But I think the last one I went to was in Anaheim. But the other one, Tamora Morrison, is going to be there as well. And he's great. He's fantastic. But it was nice to have him announced as well, coming to Star Wars Celebration in Japan. But the ones that were announced this week, which is super exciting. Some of them a delight to see. One of them not surprising. The not surprising one is Daniel Logan. Daniel Logan, again, always there for the fan events. He's so much fun. I've seen him at a couple panels, and he's hilarious, and he's a lot of fun. He's a huge Star Wars fan. Enjoy him so much. Great guy. Would love to meet him. I hear he's super nice. Manny Jacinto, jumping on the Star Wars bandwagon, and he's at D23 this week. He will be at Star Wars Celebration in Japan. So he was announced this week. And then Alan Tudyk, which this is the one that we're going to probably try to get a meet and greet for. If he's doing meet and greets, my wife really wants to meet him. She loves Alan Tudyk, loves his voice, loves him in all of his voice acting roles, and loves Alien Resident, the show Alien Resident, which is hilarious. I've just not been up on it to watch it all, but is fantastic, and can't wait to have him come to Star Wars Celebration, and can't wait to try to get a meet and greet for him. That would be something that is on our list to do. So that is some news from Star Wars Celebration Japan. I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more after D23 comes. Moving on to what color is your lightsaber? Nobody came in live tonight, which is okay. That's totally fine. But if you're watching this later, go ahead and drop what lightsaber pick you would be. But in the honor of that, basically the reason why I was doing this is because StarWars.com has a poll up as far as what color is your lightsaber. And I think it's basically because we saw so many lightsaber colors in the Acolyte. Lots of lightsaber colors in the Acolyte. And not all of the colors, because, I mean, these are kind of the colors that we see the most. Or we've seen so far. Honestly, like, sometimes you look at the reds and you think they're orange, which is, and there are there's color variations of colors. Like when you play Jedi Fallen Order, you got like blue and cyan. So like there's different variations of colors within the color scheme. But the basic colors, the blue, the green, which are obviously the original, blue, green, red, we know of from the originals. Then we got into like the purples and the yellows when we saw the prequels. We got into a little bit later white with Ahsoka's white blades, and then the dark saber was shown as well, as far as the black saber, which is a little bit different of a type of blade as well, but the dark saber being that black blade with the black crystal. So out of these colors, like what would be your Star Wars lightsaber color? My favorite one, and again, this was not the first one I picked. When I first built a lightsaber at Sabi's, I went with the elemental hilt. So I ended up picking green because I thought green would go well with the elemental hilt. My second one, again, was not my favorite color because I went kind of like that end of High Republic era lightsaber hilt, and I went with a purple blade because I thought that would go well. And then I bought some legacy blades, and then I bought some crystals because I wanted to change them out. Because one of the crystals that my favorite blade is, and it doesn't show up very well on camera, but I have it in currently, is the yellow blade. Yellow blade is definitely my favorite lightsaber blade. Favorite color right now, and that is my favorite. That is my color, is yellow. Not sure how this poll is going though. When I did this earlier today, I believe it was one of the original colors that was winning out. I think it was green. Again, I want to pick a color right now just so I can see where but I don't want to like skew anything. I think I'm just going to pick something that I think was at the bottom earlier. I don't remember what was at the bottom earlier. But I'm going to go, I think I'm just because, I'm going to Mos Eisley at the end of the month, and I'm going to do some Mando stuff while I'm there. So I think I'm just going to go with black. I'm going to go with black. And I thought that was one of the ones that was lowest on the list. So here's the polls currently over at StarWars.com. So it looks like blue is at the top right now with 21% of the votes. So it's surpassed green. Green was at the top, and now it dropped down a little bit. Yellow's number 3, which yellow's tied with purple. So like in earlier, yellow was up there in the top 3. So so you see yellow doing pretty good. I'm not cheating. I'm not going after my color a lot and picking my color just to give it votes. Red only at 10%, white at 9%, and then the dark saber, which kind of has my false vote in there, putting it up there even with white. But if you have a favorite lightsaber color, head on over to StarWars.com. There is a poll over there. What is your lightsaber? What color is your lightsaber? I don't know if this is going to generate anything, maybe with some legacy. You never know what they're going to do. And, we haven't gotten any legacy hilts from the Acolyte yet. So maybe this is something that, they're going to look at people's color wants and desires, and that might be the first legacy saber that comes out with one of those colors. As you know, we had Master Souls was blue. Green saber, I think Kalnaka's was green, as well as Indara's. Yellow, Yord. Jeki's was green. Yellow's was Yord's. The purple blade, Master Row, they could do her hilt. The Strangers was red. They didn't have white and black in the Acolyte, but who knows? They already got enough Ahsoka and Darksaber hilts out there. I don't know. They could do another Darksaber one, maybe. But yeah. Anyway, head on over to StarWars.com. Do that poll. What color is your lightsaber? And throw it up here in the podcast comments. That way I can look at it a little bit later. But anyway, that is about it for tonight. I'm just shy of an hour here, so didn't really short myself too much. There was a good amount to talk about, like I said, with D23 and everything. So it's been fun. We're done for the night. I've been actually watching the Clone Wars again recently, so I've been doing that. And yeah, Dragon Con at the end of the month, heading there. Can't wait for that. My first Dragon Con and Mosh Eisley as well, so can't wait for that. Thank you, Roosevelt's, for these amazing shirts. I love them so much. Have my bedsheet shirt on, which is fantastic. And that is it. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this later, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit those notifications so that you can join in live Space Oats podcast. Usually every Wednesday night, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be back next week. I think I'll have a crucial character pick as well. Maybe. We'll see. I also got to start thinking about some top fives, which I think I'm going to do some top fives. Starting in September, I think I'm going to do some top fives. At some point. Probably at the end of September, because I'll probably do my research. I'll probably do my top five. And it probably won't be all Star Wars, honestly. But we'll see. Maybe that'll just be on my Instagram or something, or I don't know. Maybe I'll do just a separate short of my top five favorite immersive lounges, bars at Walt Disney World. Surprise, surprise, number one is not Oga's Cantina. I will tell you that right off the bat. But I got a month to get that together and go visit those places, because I need to revisit some of those places. I haven't visited them in a while. I haven't actually been to Disney in a long time. It's been a while. I got to get back there. I got to start going to the parks again. But it's so daggone hot down here. But hopefully September will cool things off quickly so that I can go and play in the parks. Again, thank you for watching. Until next time, don't forget, not long ago in this galaxy, on my Instagram page, The Crucial Crew Member. So I will be seeing you tomorrow if you follow me there. Until then, don't forget to do something Star Wars, watch some Star Wars, listen to some Star Wars, read some Star Wars, play some Star Wars, do something Star Wars. And most importantly, may the stars light your way. Have a great night. I'll see you next time.